Sagittarius. This is the witch. She's from your family or a neighbor. See what karma will do to her. Dear Sagittarius, have you ever felt a strange chill run through your spirit when standing beside someone familiar? Perhaps it was a relative, a neighbor, or even a friend you once trusted. On the surface, nothing seemed wrong. They smiled, they spoke kindly. They fit perfectly into the fabric of your daily life. Yet deep down, something unsettled you. Your intuition whispered in ways your mind tried to dismiss. And even when you told yourself you were imagining things, your soul knew better. That subtle unease was never an accident. It was the quiet voice of truth. Sagittarius, you are a seeker of light, a traveler of both inner and outer worlds. Yet even you, strong, fiery, expansive, can sometimes doubt the quiet messages of your intuition, waiting for proof instead of trusting your first knowing. But this moment right now is your reminder. Your intuition has always been your sacred compass. And the presence you felt, the shadow cloaked in familiarity, is about to be revealed by the power of karma itself. So stay with me through this journey. Together we will uncover the deeper layers of this story. Not as a tale of fear, but as a passage into freedom, clarity, and profound healing. If you feel guided by these words, let your heart be open, and gently support this channel with a like, a share, and a subscription, so our circle of wisdom may grow. Gate 1: The Sacred Voice of Intuition. Sagittarius, let us pause here and breathe deeply into that sacred space within you. The space where your intuition speaks softly, but with undeniable truth. For so long you have been known as the archer, aiming your arrow toward distant horizons, chasing wisdom, adventure, and meaning. Yet the greatest compass you carry is not outside of you. It is not found in books, in maps, or in mentors. It is within your very soul, whispering from the quiet chambers of your heart. Have you noticed how often you have felt something before you could explain it? A conversation that looked ordinary, yet you sensed the hidden tension beneath the words. A smile that seemed warm, but left a subtle unease in your chest. A moment when the room was silent, and yet you felt the vibration of a truth you could not yet name. This is not coincidence. This is the fire of intuition, your eternal guide, gifted to Sagittarius so that you would never lose your way, no matter how far you travel. Intuition is not dramatic. It does not scream. It does not demand. Instead, it arrives like a flicker of light across your path, a breeze against your skin, a dream that lingers even when you wake. And though you may have tried to dismiss it, thinking, I need proof, I need logic, I need evidence, time and again life has shown you, your first knowing was always right. Think back, Sagittarius. How many times have you doubted that inner voice, only to realize later that it was trying to protect you? Perhaps you trusted someone who betrayed your faith, and later recalled the very first time you felt a shadow behind their words. Perhaps you entered into an agreement, a friendship, or even a relationship where everything looked perfect from the outside. Yet deep within you felt an unexplainable weight. At the time you silenced yourself. You told yourself, I am overthinking. But the truth was already there, echoing in your chest. One Sagittarius woman I once guided shared her story. She welcomed a neighbor into her life, a woman who always brought gifts and smiles. Everyone praised this neighbor's kindness, but my Sagittarius friend felt uneasy each time she left. I don't know why, she told me, but after every visit I feel drained, as if something of me has been taken. She ignored that warning until one day, the truth emerged. The neighbor had been spreading false words behind her back, twisting stories to cause division. The pain was sharp, but even sharper was the realization that her intuition had spoken long before evidence surfaced. This is the lesson of your soul, Sagittarius. Never again dismiss the sacred knowing that rises within you. Intuition is not weakness. It is not paranoia. It is not fantasy. It is the voice of God, the universe, the divine flame within, guiding you away from harm and leading you toward truth. Your fiery spirit seeks freedom, but intuition is the quiet map that ensures you do not lose yourself on the journey. Even sacred texts remind us of this eternal truth. The Bible teaches, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness cannot overcome it. No matter how carefully someone hides their intentions, no matter how sweetly they cloak their actions, the light of intuition sees what the eyes cannot. And Sagittarius, you carry that light naturally, though you often question it. The more you learn to trust it, the more your life unfolds with clarity. Pause for a moment, dear Archer, and place your hand upon your heart. Can you feel how it beats differently when you are in the presence of truth compared to when you stand near deception? Your body knows. Your spirit knows. Even when your mind argues, your soul has already spoken. The greatest act of self-love for you now is to believe yourself, to honor the first whisper instead of waiting for the storm to prove it. This does not mean living in fear. It does not mean suspecting everyone. True intuition does not make you paranoid. It makes you free. Because when you trust that inner flame, you no longer need to control, to predict, to obsess. You simply listen. You allow your path to unfold, and when the shadow approaches, you already know. Sagittarius, your journey is not only about seeking truth in the world. It is about seeking truth within yourself. And your intuition is the first gateway. The woman cloaked as a witch, the one hiding in plain sight, whether she is family or neighbor, cannot deceive what your soul already feels. Even if no one else believes you, even if everyone else is charmed, you are the one chosen to sense the dissonance. That is why your heart has been restless. That is why you have been stirred in silence. Because karma is aligning to reveal what your intuition has long known. And here is the deeper gift. Every time you listen to yourself, you build unshakable trust in your own spirit. You stop looking outside for validation. You stop asking, am I wrong? Am I too sensitive? Am I imagining things? Instead, you stand tall in your fire and say, I know. Even if no one else sees, I know. That is freedom. That is strength. That is the soul of Sagittarius. So as we walk further, remember this. Your intuition is not here to frighten you. It is not here to burden you. It is here to liberate you. It whispers because it trusts you to listen. It warns because it wants you safe. It reveals because it wants you free. And now, Sagittarius, as karma prepares to unmask what has been hidden for so long, your role is not to panic, not to fight, not to doubt. Your role is to listen, to trust, and to allow the light to do what it has always done, bring truth where there was shadow. Gate 2: The light of karma reveals the truth. Sagittarius, now that you have begun to embrace the voice of your intuition, let us step into the next sacred space of your journey. You have always sensed the shadows lingering nearby, the hidden intentions cloaked in kindness, the smile that never quite reached the eyes. And though you may have tried to dismiss it, the universe never dismissed you. What you felt was real, and now karma, in its perfect timing, is preparing to show you the truth that can no longer stay hidden. There is something eternal about karma. It does not rush, it does not delay. It moves in rhythm with divine justice, arriving at the exact moment when your soul is ready to witness. For Sagittarius, this can feel frustrating. Your fiery nature wants answers quickly, wants clarity, wants freedom without delay. But the wisdom of karma is that it unfolds not according to your impatience, but according to your growth. When the truth appears, it does so in such clarity that even your doubts are silenced. Have you noticed, Sagittarius, how the universe often works in whispers before it speaks in thunder? The signs are always there. Perhaps you overheard a slip of the tongue that didn't add up. Perhaps you noticed inconsistencies in someone's story, or a heaviness in your chest when they entered the room. Those were the whispers. And now the thunder is coming, not to harm you, but to confirm what you have always known. Imagine a house where a candle has been burning quietly in the corner. For years, the flame seemed too small to matter, its light too weak to reveal anything significant. But as time passed, the wax melted, the flame grew steadier, and finally, the whole room began to glow. The shadows that once seemed invisible were now impossible to ignore. This is what is happening in your life, Sagittarius. That candle is your intuition, and now karma is fanning it into a radiant flame that will expose every shadow, every mask, every false smile that once deceived you. I once spoke with a Sagittarius man named Daniel. For years he felt uneasy about a relative who always appeared generous, always involved, always ready to help. Others adored this relative, but Daniel often left their presence with a tightness in his chest. He could never explain why, so he buried the feeling. Years later, the truth surfaced. That relative had been secretly manipulating family affairs, sowing division, and betraying the very trust they pretended to protect. Daniel told me that when the truth came out, his first reaction wasn't anger, it was relief. Relief that his intuition had never lied to him. Relief that the whispers he ignored were finally acknowledged by the light of karma. This is what you too are about to experience, dear Sagittarius. The truth you have felt in silence will soon stand in the open for all to see. And the one who carried deception, the woman cloaked as a witch, whether she is family or a neighbor, will be revealed not by your hands, not by your anger, but by the natural unfolding of justice. You need not expose her. Karma will do what you could not, and it will do it with perfect timing and precision. There is a verse from the Buddha's teachings that says, 3 things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. And for you, Sagittarius, the truth is now rising like the dawn. The woman who thought her mask was unbreakable will face the light she cannot avoid. What she sowed in shadows will bloom in full view, and you will see her not as she pretended to be, but as she truly is. But here is where your role becomes sacred. You are not asked to gloat. You are not asked to wish for her downfall. You are asked to simply witness. For the light of karma is not about revenge, it is about release. The truth is not meant to weigh you down with bitterness, but to free you from the cycle of doubt, from the heaviness of betrayal, from the endless questioning of your own worth. When the mask falls away, you will feel lighter, not because she suffers, but because you no longer carry the burden of confusion. Sagittarius, imagine yourself standing in a vast open field at sunrise. The night was long, the shadows heavy, and for a time you thought dawn would never come. But now, as the first rays break the horizon, you see clearly. The field is wide, the air is fresh, the world is open again. This is what truth feels like. This is what karma brings. Not just justice for what was done to you, but freedom for your spirit to breathe again. And remember this. Truth does not only expose others. It strengthens you. It shows you that your inner compass has always been correct, that you are not naive, that you are not weak. For too long you may have carried the weight of self-doubt, wondering if you were too sensitive, if you judged too harshly, if you imagine things. But when karma unfolds, it validates you. It clears the fog. It tells you, you were right all along. In that moment, Sagittarius, you will reclaim something powerful. Your trust in yourself. And that is more valuable than any apology, any explanation, any external validation. Because when you trust yourself, no one can ever deceive you again. You become unshakable, guided not by the masks of others, but by the eternal flame within. So as the light begins to shine, do not fear it. Do not resist it. Let it enter every corner of your life. Let it reveal what is false and affirm what is true. Let karma show you not only the face of the one who deceived you, but also the radiant strength you have gained through every wound, every tear, every restless night. This is not just their unveiling. It is your awakening. And now, as we prepare to walk into the deeper part of this journey, I want you to ask yourself, are you ready to see what karma is about to do? Are you ready to witness the justice that has been long in the making? Hold your heart steady, Sagittarius, because the next step is not only about seeing truth, it is about stepping into the peace that truth will finally bring. Gate 3: The work of karma on the witch and how it frees Sagittarius. Sagittarius, take a breath with me. The path we now step upon is not an easy one, because it asks you to look directly at what you once wished to avoid. It asks you to see the face of betrayal, the one who cloaked herself in family bonds or neighborly kindness while hiding intentions that cut deeply into your trust. This is the woman who thought her smile would blind you, who believed her mask could outlast eternity. But the truth is, no mask survives the fire of karma. Karma has already begun its quiet work. Sometimes it does not strike with lightning. It begins in whispers, just like intuition. The one who sowed seeds of deception may already be feeling an unease, an unrest she cannot name. Perhaps her relationships begin to falter. Perhaps the very tools she used to control, manipulate, or wound others begin slipping from her hands. She may find herself isolated, unsupported, misunderstood by the very people she once used as allies. And she may not even understand why. But you, Sagittarius, you will know. Karma has its own poetry. It does not mirror pain exactly as it was given. Instead, it creates circumstances that reach the deepest places of the soul. If she caused you doubt, she will face doubt from those she depends on. If she made you feel invisible, she will one day feel unseen in her own circle. If she mocked your sensitivity, she will find herself judged for her own. This is not your doing. This is the universe rebalancing itself. I remember speaking with a Sagittarius woman named Maria, who had endured years of subtle cruelty from a relative. Nothing loud, nothing dramatic, just quiet words meant to belittle, small betrayals hidden behind closed doors. Maria forgave again and again, thinking perhaps she was too sensitive. But when karma arrived, it was not Maria who exposed her relative. Instead, the relative's own actions were revealed by others, and the family saw clearly what Maria had carried alone. The relative lost the trust she prized most, and Maria, though shaken, finally felt the weight lift from her shoulders. It wasn't about her punishment, Maria told me. It was about me being free. Sagittarius, that is exactly the point of karma's work. It is not here to feed your anger. It is not here to make you gloat. It is here to free you. Because as long as you carried the burden of silence, as long as you doubted your own heart, you were trapped. But when karma acts, you are released. The truth comes not to destroy you but to restore you. You may wonder, what will actually happen to this woman, the witch who once lived so close, perhaps even within your family? The answer is not yours to control. It may be loss of status, loss of relationships, loss of the very illusion she built. It may be an inner restlessness so deep she cannot sleep at night. It may be the slow unraveling of the lies she wove until she stands exposed, vulnerable, and without disguise. What matters is not the form karma takes, but the fact that it will come, certain as sunrise, precise as the archer's arrow you carry. And here, Sagittarius, lies your sacred choice. Will you cling to the bitterness? Or will you step into freedom? Because karma's work is most powerful when you release the need for revenge. You do not need to dirty your spirit with thoughts of retaliation. You do not need to waste your fire on anger that only burns you. Instead, you can rise higher. You can watch quietly as the universe balances itself, while you walk forward unburdened, your arrows aimed not at shadows but at horizons of light. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. You are standing in a vast open temple, light cascading through tall windows, illuminating every corner. The witch who once hid in shadows now stands in that same light, unable to disguise herself. But instead of anger, you feel calm. You do not need to confront her. You do not need to shout. You simply witness. And in that witnessing, you realize you are free. Free from her grip. Free from your own self-doubt. Free from the silence that once choked your voice. This is the sacred justice of karma. It is not about her downfall, it is about your liberation. And when you no longer feel the urge to see her suffer, that is the sign you have truly healed. The fire in you, Sagittarius, was never meant to scorch others. It was meant to light your path. So let karma do its work. Let the universe weave its patterns of justice in ways you may never fully see or understand. What matters is that you will feel the shift. The heaviness will lift. The questions will fade. And you will stand taller, clearer, brighter, carrying the wisdom that only comes from walking through shadow into light. Sagittarius, do you see now? The witch is not your enemy anymore. She is simply the mirror that showed you the strength of your own intuition and the power of your resilience. And as karma unfolds, you are invited to release her story from your heart, so that your arrows may fly unburdened into the destiny that awaits you. Gate 4. Sagittarius steps into freedom and destiny. Sagittarius, now that karma has done its work and the shadows have been unveiled, the most important part of your journey begins. Not the fall of another, but the rise of yourself. This is where you finally step out of the heavy room of doubt and into the vast horizon that was always waiting for you. The freedom you long for is not just about escaping someone's deception. It is about reclaiming the wild, expansive spirit that is your birthright. You were never meant to live small, Sagittarius. You were never meant to carry the chains of fear, suspicion, or betrayal. Your soul was crafted for horizons, for the wide open sky, for the unknown paths, for the fire that keeps moving forward. And now, with the weight lifted, you will feel that restless flame inside you ignite once more. The archer in you raises the bow not to strike back, but to aim at new directions: love, truth, wisdom, adventure. Do you know what is most beautiful here? The witch, the betrayal, the pain, they are no longer your story. They are simply chapters that taught you how strong your intuition is, how resilient your heart can be, and how divinely protected you truly are. And now that those chapters are closing, you step into a new one. Destiny. Destiny is not some faraway promise. It is here right now in the quiet knowing that you survived what was meant to break you. It is in the courage that keeps beating in your chest even after the tears. It is in the faith you have that the universe will never abandon you. Sagittarius, you are walking into a frequency of freedom that not everyone is brave enough to enter. Think of yourself standing at the edge of a cliff at sunrise. The sky burns with orange and gold. The world stretches endlessly before you. And for the first time in so long you feel light. The betrayal no longer defines you. The karma no longer concerns you. You are simply present, with your bow, your fire, your heart wide open to the possibilities ahead. That is destiny, the moment you realize you are free to begin again. And from this freedom, Sagittarius, your life will bloom in ways you could never imagine. You will attract relationships built on truth, not masks. You will step into opportunities that align with your soul, not distractions that drain you. You will feel an inner peace that no storm can shake. Because once you've walked through betrayal and seen karma restore the balance, you know with unshakable certainty. You are guided, you are protected, you are chosen for more. So let the past fall away. Let karma close the door. And with your head held high, step boldly into the wide, luminous path that destiny has prepared just for you. The witch is no longer your story. Freedom is. Healing is. Expansion is. And above all, Sagittarius, your truth is. Conclusion, the sacred closure, and the call to Sagittarius' next chapter. Sagittarius, as we close this journey together, I want you to pause and feel the silence within your heart. Do you notice how it feels lighter now? The shadows have been revealed, the witch has been unmasked, and karma has already begun its sacred work. What once weighed you down no longer holds power over you. The story that made you question yourself is ending, and in its place a new story begins. One that belongs entirely to you. Remember this, you are not defined by betrayal. You are not shaped by another's deception. You are defined by your fire, the fire that refused to go out even when tested. You are shaped by your courage, your intuition, your ability to rise no matter how heavy the fall. That is your true power. So as you step into the next chapter, let your heart be open. Trust the road ahead, even if it looks uncertain. Trust your bow, your arrows, and above all, trust the voice within that has never failed you. This is not the end, Sagittarius. It is the beginning of your freedom, your destiny, your expansion into the vastness of who you were always meant to be. If these words resonated with you, let them settle gently in your heart. Share your story in the comments, like this video if it brought you light, and subscribe to join our growing circle of wisdom. Remember, we are walking this path together. You are never alone. Until next time, may you carry your fire with pride, and may the universe continue to guide your every step.